everyone. I'd like to welcome you to this video that we're about to make. This is number 2 in a 3-part series. If you'll recall, in video number 1 we taught how to bottle and preserve wild turkey. So in this one we're going to build some turkey stew. And our third part, number 3 in the series, will be how to freeze dry that, and I'll take you through the freeze drying process. Start with, I probably ought to introduce you here. This is TJ, Tommy Jr. as I refer to him. Pulled him out of the garage, out of the decoy bag. I thought he might help to introduce the video. So without anything else, let's get into this and I'll show you the ingredients that we're going to use in our stew. We have quite a few ingredients that we're going to use. We obviously have black pepper, salt, chicken broth, carrots, celery, potatoes, mushrooms, onions, minced garlic. We got some gravy packets, we got frozen peas, noodles, and of course our wild bottled turkey. Don't stress though, I'll break it down and tell you the amounts we're going to use. So let's get preparing. Okay, let's get started with our ingredients list. I have a 32-ounce bag of noodles. We're only going to do about half of that. So 16 ounces roughly, and we'll boil those separately and then add them to the stew when it's all done. We have 16 cups of chicken broth. We have 6 cups of diced yellow gold potatoes, roughly 5 cups of mushrooms that have been diced up. We got about 4 cups of carrots, 2 whole onions that have been diced up. We have about 4 cups of celery. We have 6 pints of wild turkey that's been bottled. We have 4 teaspoons of liquid smoke, 4 teaspoons of salt, 2 cans of corn. We have a teaspoon and a half of pepper, 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. Here we have 4 turkey gravy packets that's been mixed with a little bit of water. And lastly, 1 bag, that's 12 ounces of peas. Part 3 of our series is going to be the freeze drying of this stew that we're making out of this wild turkey. Butter and oils don't freeze dry very well. They shorten the shelf life of your product. And we want to have a longer shelf life, so we're not going to use oil or butter. What I've done is added just a little bit of chicken broth here, put a little more in there. With that chicken broth, we'll start the saute of our initial vegetables. First thing is we're going to add our onions. Just going to want to stir them around and get them to start cooking in there. You can see our onions starting to get a little bit translucent. I'm going to go ahead and add in the celery and then the carrots. Give this all a stir and get it mixed up and get that cooking together. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and add 4 cups of chicken broth. Probably need to add another 4 cups to this mix and let that get boiling and cooking a little bit more. Let me go ahead and add in my pepper, my salt, and my garlic. Stir that all around, get those spices stirred up in there. All right, we're going to let these vegetables here simmer for about 12 to 15 minutes, and then we'll start adding our next products in. Those veggies are starting to get a little soft. It's looking like they're about where we want them. So I'm going to add in the rest of my broth. All right, we're going to add our potatoes in next. Once that starts to boil, we're going to let those simmer for another 10 minutes. Yeah, it's been simmering for about 10 minutes. We're going to add in our wild turkey next. Also going to add in our mushrooms at this point, and we're going to give it a stir. I'm going to add in about 5 pints of water. At this point, we're going to go ahead and add our gravy in, as well as our liquid smoke. Give that a stir and get that all mixed up. Get the boil started. Last things we need to add is our peas and our 2 cans of corn. Ooh, that's looking really good in there. All right, this is starting to boil pretty good. We're going to turn it down. We're going to let it simmer for about another 8 minutes. You know, the other thing is they say too many cooks spoil the soup. Well, I need to taste this. Oh yeah, that's got good flavor. Add a little flour and milk to the mix, see if we can get this to thicken up just a little bit. Put about a half a cup of flour and a cup or so of milk. All right, it's time to add in the noodles. Now we're boiling. That's probably close to a half a bag. All right, I'm gonna add those in. You know, I thought I was going to add more noodles to this, but it looks like the consistency is about what we want. I think this is turning out just perfect. So we're ready to pull it off, and we'll give it a try. All right, here's our turkey stew. Got plenty of beautiful vegetables in there, and potatoes, peas and corn. Oh man, that's gonna look good. Let's give it a taste. Oh yeah, that'll do the trick. I think it's a wrap. There's a couple things I need to mention. I did add one more gravy packet, and I added 4 tablespoons of chicken bouillon, and I did add, I think, 5 pints of water. Probably could have got by with 4, but I think as it turns out, everything is great. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and appreciate you watching. We'll see you on part 3 as we go into the freeze drying process.